How you doing, good people? This is the 8-bit animal. And Namco, let's just put it out there. Namco is one of the pillars of arcade gaming. Namco, you can't talk about plunking money into an arcade cabinet in the 80s or 90s or even early 2000s without talking about Namco. They gave us Pac-Man, they gave us Mappy, they gave us Zevious, they gave us today's game. And honestly, for Namco's faults, reliance on licensed anime titles, because let's be real, the Dragon Ball games start to run together after a while. For their faults though, when Namco was on it, Namco was on it. And this is an example of Namco being on it. And not only was Namco on it in the arcades, but this game translated wonderfully to the Famicom. Because Namco didn't have a license to publish titles in the US though, they would sprinkle their games to other publishers. And Sunsoft got the honors for this one. It was published in the US in 1988. But like I said, it's from 1985, so it looks a little older. Today, we're going to take a look at Sky Kid. Now, I will say this, the box art for Sky Kid on the NES, it almost feels like it's false advertising, but it's not. You play as a pilot, either Blue Max or Red Baron, or Baron or Max, or Baron and Max if you got two players. And basically, in each mission, your job is to dodge enemies, both flying and on the ground, pick up a bomb along the way, bomb a target, and then land at the end of the mission. That's what you had to do. And you're armed with a gun and the ability to loop. That ability to loop actually adds a lot to this game because it gives you the ability to do wild little stunts to get around enemies. They can also loop though. If you get hit by a bullet and you're far enough away from the ground, you can loop out of falling to save yourself. And yeah, this game, for what it's worth and for its seemingly simplistic look, actually has some pretty fun little gameplay mechanics to it. It's not a very deep game, but it is a very fun game. And yeah, it's something that I think folks who are fans of games from like the golden age of arcades, from like the 80s or whatever, and fans of Namco stuff would be into. The environments change all the time. You go from day to night. You got oceans you fly over, cities, all that good stuff. But the mission layout is pretty much the same. You have to bomb targets. And sometimes you bomb more than one target in the mission. But all in all, it's bombing runs. And it's a fun game with little bombing runs in it. And yeah, you'll dig it. If you're into arcade shooters, if you're into seeing the history and evolution of the shmup, this is a good piece of the evolution of the shmup. Not just Gradius, not just Galaga, but you gotta lump Sky Kid in there too. Now, if you want a copy of Sky Kid for the NES, somewhere between $15 and $25 would be like your average. You might get a copy cheaper than that. You might have to pay a little more than that. But for a loose cart, $15 to $25 seems to be the going rate. And I'm not going to say it's not worth it. I'm not going to say it is. But Sky Kid is a piece of arcade history. And it's a fun little shmup. It's a little more accessible than something like Scoon, price-wise and gameplay-wise. But I think gamers who are into old school shmups and like to see how the different styles of shmups evolved will get a kick out of Sky Kid. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow. Tomorrow. Yep, this might be the weirdest puzzle game I've ever seen. Big shock, it's unlicensed.